Hello everyone, back to the crypto space. Going to be looking at ETH, BTC, LTC, and GNT. Before I get into it, just want to give my appreciation after talking about the headaches in the last video. Had a physician reach out. I had someone who sells UV blocking glasses and salt lamps and all that reach out and offer some of their products, and feeling the love and appreciate that. So what we're going to be looking at here is a lot of bullish action yet again over the weekend. It was slow on Saturday, and I was not trading as much. It was a nice little break there, but the action is back, and there was a lot of gains to be made, at least in ETH. Back early this morning, I was holding overnight, actually, and when I'm holding overnight, I'm really sick in the head where I just set an alarm every 2 hours and wake up and make sure everything's going according to plan. And one thing it does do is makes dreams nice and vivid and potentially lucid. So that's a benefit, but other than that, it is pretty insane. So ETH on the daily time frame here. So we have, and all these drawings are from the shorter term time frames, but we had a very clear inside bar bull break. And if you've been listening to me make these videos, inside bars are when the range of the candlestick fits completely within the range of the previous candlestick, which obviously makes sense with the name, an inside bar. In this pattern, we are only concerned with the range, the high and the low of the candlestick. And once the inside bar range breaks in one direction or the other, that is a trade signal. And it's a fairly simple trade signal. And what it does is it shows us that equilibrium pattern. If I zoom in on the hourly time frame, here on the daily chart, we have two inside bars in a row. Inside bar Friday, inside bar Saturday, and then our bull break. If I were to zoom in, the hourly time frame would be higher lows and lower highs, our equilibrium pattern. Here is just a macro version of it zoomed out, and it's just a very simple trading signal. So the break at 227.50 was the bull signal. That's the time where this inside bar strategy, you just buy and you set your stop loss and you look at the momentum that follows, and more often than not, it puts the odds in our favor. Obviously, it doesn't work every time, but more often than not, we do see that follow through to the upside. So zooming in on the hourly time frame, there was a signal to me that told me that the bulls were ready to show up. And here's our equilibrium pattern. We had our all-time, or actually I'm not sure if that was it was the all-time high. So it was our all-time high, pullback. There's our low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, and then just sideways trading. So the more cautious trader and the daily inside bar pattern would have signaled the break here at this 227.50 level. That would have been the signal. I went a little bit early because I was looking on the shorter term time frames. I made the determination that the bulls made a break here once this level broke, and that was at 224.59. And that's because that was the highest price we saw in about 10 plus hours. And once we broke it, we saw a nice solid green candlestick, one of the most solid hourly candlesticks we had seen in a while. That told me, okay, the odds that the bulls are going to make a move back to the all-time high here with a lack of resistance is more likely than not. So at that point, after that bull break, I didn't want to jump in because the 5-minute RSI was too overbought. So I waited for consolidation. I made an entry here on this candlestick. Nice solid bullish hammer that did see follow through to the upside. Look at the volume ramp up and the big explosion to the upside. That being said, I made a mistake. And my mistake was exiting. So I exited for a very slight profit here because Bitcoin on the 5-minute time frame had an RSI under 20. And I jumped into Bitcoin. I made the standard under 20 RSI flip for nice gains, but I did miss this bull move on ETH. So had I stayed in ETH, profit would have been a bit more. Obviously, I didn't come away empty-handed. I did get those BTC profits, but I did re-enter here on this consolidation for ETH, held it overnight, anticipating the all-time high. You always want to give more wiggle room to those bulls when you're on the verge of an all-time high, because if you break that all-time high, due to lack of resistance, the gains are really nice. So the gains from an all-time high are going to be more significant compared to anything we've seen over the past few days as we have been in this tightening range. So it's really just the difference between low volume, tight, and then a spike in volume and a break and momentum. And so we had Saturday with the last inside bar day, very tight, low volume, and then Sunday with the break, lots of opportunity and lots of volatility. So I've been flipping it back and forth, had a couple nice shorter term trades where I was able to exit and then rebuy a few dollars lower and then continue the move to the upside. And that's taking, $500-600 off the table every time I can do that, adding a couple more ETH for the continuation. So I have been in and out, and I was watching this ascending triangle pattern with our double top at the all-time high of 249 and a higher low pattern. We did break that, but I made a bullish entry right now, and I'm currently holding a position, and I entered in the 245s, and that was because the RSI was right at 30. Now, why I went with the RSI on 30 is because I zoomed back And I actually did this, just in my head knowing that we had the strength. But if you do zoom back, you can see that we have not dipped below the 30 RSI since the bulls showed up. So here are my arrows on the hourly time frame where I said the bulls showed up. And we had not seen the RSI dip below 30 at that since then. So pretty much once the bulls gained control of the trend, the bulls have been buying the dip significantly enough to keep that RSI propped up right at 30 at the lowest. So I got in anticipating that. And I will exit here. Nice bull volume coming in. I will exit here if we lose this 244.74 support. But I am ideally going to be holding it here again tonight because I do like the odds, more likely than not, to see an all-time high. If we get continuation, we'll be looking up. And again, the all-time high break, let's say we break 249, depending on how much resistance is at 250 psychological, I would expect an easy move to 253. And, locking in $3-4 gains is what it's all about. I actually had my first red day on Saturday due to trying to trade that low volume illiquidity, and I will admit it, I made a mistake. I got back into LTC. I said, I'm not going to trade it anymore. I saw a setup. I liked it. I jumped into LTC. 20 minutes later, I said, man, there's no liquidity here. If I wanted to exit the size of my position right now, I would have to take a big hit because there are no bids and there's no asks either, but there's no volume. There's no trading going on here. So I instantly regretted that and ended up taking a hit. And that was my first red day. I don't think I had a red day in May, which is unheard of in the stock market for me personally. That's clearly a all-time win streak for me. We'll see how long that holds up. Likely a very long time. But it was very interesting to watch the psychology of what was going on in my head, where I was like, oh man, got a red day. And then just zooming out and taking it all into perspective and saying, okay, where have I come from in the past month? What is this red day in comparison to the gain seen in the past month? And it's so insignificant that it was just really funny that my psychology could give me that little, hiccup in terms of feeling like I was in a funk when really I'm just cooling off from a really hot period of trading. So back at it here, liking the action right now on USD, up nicely. And I'll probably move my stop loss to break even now and take a little bit away in terms of the wiggle room I will allow, but I will stop out in the mid 245s from here. But again, ideally, hoping to be up in the 250s as I wake up tomorrow, or wake up every 2 hours. So Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Good sign for the bulls that we too saw an inside bull break today, breaking the high of the inside bar from yesterday of 25.56.10. So we have a little bit of a double top here at 2600. And we are pulling back from that level. So that's a bit concerning because, again, if you remember a few days ago where I was looking for these equilibrium patterns to play out, we still have that here on Bitcoin. We have our high, our low, and potential for a lower high to be set, and we'll have to pull back and form a higher low if we start to see more substantial weakness, and that weakness will show up on the hourly time frame. So there's that upper wick, very clear profit taking from that 2600 resistance. If we break this low here of 2470, and we have another level 2448, but if we break 2470, let's put that support right there, break that level and we will have a double top and then continuation of lower lows. That would be a red flag to short-term bulls that we would likely pull back a bit more significantly. That being said, bulls could very easily pull back, establish themselves, and then make a bull break of this level overnight. We'll have to see how it plays out from here, but as of right now, this is a bearish reversal inverted hammer rejecting from a double top of resistance. So Bitcoin, bulls are obviously still in control on the daily time frame, just may need to consolidate a little bit more, keeping in mind we have seen, 4 big green days where we were coming back towards the upside, and it's just a slow and steady mover compared to ETH, where ETH on the daily time frame, and we can see there's a bearish reversal candlestick here on ETH while we're talking. So high volume there as well. Looks like that may be another lower high. So I'm going to be watching the support here of 246.11 to see if the bulls can maintain higher lows. And I can tell just by the way this candlestick's moving that there's a lot of volume coming in, and the bid and the ask spread is very wide right now. So looking at Ethereum on the daily time frame, the bulls showed back up and saw all-time highs just after a couple days of consolidation, whereas Bitcoin, the consolidation was more significant. The bounce was not as strong for those bulls, so it's taken a lot more work to get back to these levels. Bulls may be a little bit tired, unable to break 2600, watching very close to that hourly time frame and the consolidation that comes with it. Bull break here on LTC, inside bars on the daily time frame, even more so. And this has been a signal on LTC twice now. I played the last daily bull break where we had multiple inside bars in a row, a bull break above that, and a nice move. So the inside bar here, the high, that was up at 26.22. As soon as we got that bull break, we made a run up to 29.94. That's a 10+% gain, very significant. Same consolidation. inside bar, second inside bar, third inside bar with the low of the day, the exact same price to the penny, and the bull break occurred at 27.90. As soon as 27.90 broke, we're up $1 now. That's almost 4%. So look at the volume that came in, and I haven't even looked at this, but I'm just going to assume, and there it is. So traders are recognizing these patterns, obviously, and when we see that break of that inside bar high, look at the volume on the hourly candlestick and look at the size of the follow-through. This is all the traders saying, up, there's our bull break, we're jumping in. Then traders who are maybe not as technical savvy, they're saying, up, there's the volume, I want to jump in, and it's just all magnifying itself. And it's a really nice move to the upside. We'll see if now the bulls can form a more convincing higher low, higher high pattern. But again, it's the daily chart on all three of these names this weekend that have given us an inside bar bull break. And again, LTC has given multiple ones in the past 2 weeks for nice trade signals. Utilize these daily charts. Even if you're short-term trading, they certainly can give some nice signals. GNT consolidating here. And I did a lot of trading in the alt space this past weekend, just playing around, seeing how things are. It is insanity. It is the Wild West. I'm not going to keep doing that. Number one, because the interface of Polo, I don't even know how to say it, Polo Nix, whatever, it is terrible. It is not good for trading whatsoever. It is very, very primitive, and I'm not comfortable moving around significant positions with that. So what I'm seeing here on Golem is the very quick spikes, but the very quick profit taking that comes with it. And that makes me, as a longer-term holder, again, I'm going to be holding through June, I believe, as I'm looking for the brass launch and I'm looking for the Coinbase listing. And I'm going to play these spikes because they are so consistently being sold off that it's really easy to see, you know, a 5-10% drop and then a reload for more. So I'm watching right now an equilibrium pattern on Golem. We got our high, low, lower high, higher low, and we'll watch for a break of this overnight. But I am liking the daily pattern here, and I am probably going to add some more to my position. And again, I'm only reinvesting profits at this point, but I've been blitzing this sector. And when I say blitzing, I mean hitting it hard. I'm a lot more conservative in the stock market because pretty much the stock market is just me waiting for these opportunities. And I'm going to be hitting it hard where I'm going to take a significant amount of my profits, which were nice in May, and I'm going to put it in here and try and see a 50 to 100% move with a Coinbase listing. So I like the consolidation that's ongoing here. We've got altcoins breaking out left and right to all-time highs, and we are going to see money come back in here eventually, in my opinion. And it's a nice solid higher low, higher high pattern, and we have an inside bar here on the daily time frame to be watching. The bulls need to break 19,743 and to be heading back to the upside. But what I want to see is a lack of profit taking on these moves. I want to see more slow and steady. And I do like the fact that right now on the 5-minute time frame, we are building a staircase in terms of higher lows. Just need to see a break back into the 2-cent range. And again, it's not 2 cents, it's 0.0002. But need to see the bulls wake up a little bit. I'm holding off on my entering. I'm going to enter probably the last third of my position here. And I'm holding off because I want to be a bit more confident that the bulls have momentum. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking to add in the 17, 18 range. I did add at the 18 range over this weekend. And I'm going to hold off on my last chunk just to be sure that that bull momentum is there. Otherwise, I'm going to be a bit more patient. So that's what we've got heading into tomorrow. One more point I want to make is I'm all about correlations. If you've been watching my videos in the stock market before this crypto craze, I'm always looking for correlations between the market and oil, between gold and the market. Correlations give us some nice information. I'm very, very, very interested in how this cryptocurrency space is going to correlate with the market overall. And it's too soon to determine that, but the market right now is the strongest it has ever been. Everything's at all-time highs. Google, Facebook, Netflix, everything is hitting an all-time high almost every week at this point. Tesla, it's unlike anything I've ever seen, and the tech sector is on complete fire. So what that tells me is I am very, very bullish that this cryptocurrency surge is going on with the market so strong. Because right now, money is not leaving the market to look for other opportunities. Money is very, very happy with what the market is doing. So this is not... I mean, obviously, there's some stock market money coming in. There's some stock traders coming in. But in my opinion, this is not significant stock money. Otherwise, we would be seeing it reflected in, you know, a lack of bullish action in the market. And again, the past 2 days and the past year has been insanely bullish and strong. So I'm going to be curious what's going to happen when the market is no longer, you know, all sunshine and rainbows. What's going to happen when we start to consolidate? And I will be very interested because when we consolidate in the market and when we enter a downtrend, and again, we haven't really had a downtrend since 2008, but it's going to happen eventually. And once that does happen, my question is going to be, where's money going to go? Because money leaves stocks and it tries to find a safe haven. And usually that safe haven is gold. But cryptocurrencies, in my opinion, are going to be a safe haven from the stock market weakness. So I do believe money will leave the stock market and come into these cryptos. And again, the fact that these cryptos are running with this market so strong, it is very telling to me that there's a lot more money that could come into this space when the stock market is not insanely bullish. There's going to be a time where people are looking for other places to put their money, but as of right now, it's not even a thought on their mind because it is just, again, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. The past 6 months of gains in the S&P 500 since the election are just astounding. So those profits are going to have to go somewhere at some point, and I'm very curious to start paying attention to the volume. I'm going to be looking at volume. What's the volume coming into the cryptocurrency space? How's it, showing up on the market overall? And just watching those correlations is always very interesting. So I appreciate you watching. We'll continue to check back in as always. Thanks for all the support, and I'll see you soon.